Hi, this is a Daily Spark Day 43 question. I forgot my little, I don't know what you would call it. The ring of questions for the month at my studio, I guess. And so I have it up here on my computer. So it says, this Thursday, February 12th. How do social norms shape what I experience as personal preference or aversion? How do social norms shape what I experience as personal preference or aversion? Ooh, this gets into desire and ill will. Preference or aversion? How do social norms shape what I experience as personal preference? I swear, like, this is most of my programming my whole life. Why the heck do I get a hot flash right now? I'm not taking this off because it's going to pass. I'm going to pause while it passes. Okay, so this guy, so I feel like in my whole life, when I think I said it's been shaped, my experience has been shaped by social norms. Oh, hold on, I itch my nose. I don't mean in like what social norms, whatever they are, that's what I want. It's usually like what I don't want. It must be the little rebel in me, the little like counterculture, subculture thing that I like, just like whatever goes against the majority, because and it's been kind of in my like unconsciously, he's so furry, my whole life. I don't think about it, but in my mind, I talked about this the other day, didn't I? My skeptic mind. So my whole life, I feel like whatever is in mass appeal, like whatever the masses are gravitating toward, I kind of pull back and go, really? What is it? And I thought maybe it's just me being like, contrary, a contrarian. Or, gotta be different, or think I'm so smart because I'm not gonna buy into that, And it could just be like, hey, maybe that's a good way to just be a critical thinker, right? I don't know. How you feel, I'll feel how I feel, and I don't know how I feel. I felt like I felt this many feelings about that my whole life. Like sometimes I felt like a contrarian, sometimes I felt like a critical thinker. Sometimes I was just like, dude, that clothing trend is ridiculous. Whatever. Just didn't vibe with it. It could have been anything, but social norms, how do they shape what I experience as personal preference or aversion? Usually I had the aversion to the social norms. So like whatever was the norm, I was like, something doesn't feel right about that. But not all social norms are bad. I'm sure I agree with a lot of social norms, like, hey, be kind. Hey, put your shopping cart back. Hey, leave something better than you found it. I hope those are social norms. I like to believe they are. Because if you talk to people one-on-one, I think they would agree. Like, hey, pick up after yourself. Don't litter. Well, so it's not like everything is aversion, but I think if it feels trendy, if the social norm feels like a trend, then it's like, okay, well, the pendulum is always swinging, right? So it's like, where are we on that pendulum swing? And do I want to swing with it? Or will I just stay here because it's going to come back around? Keep those genes. Everything goes back around. So I think, but this question I like because it makes me kind of feel back into those years where I think in my like early 20s, especially my 20s, I think I was more like the go against the grain kind of personality, because I was tapped more into my creativity and just like when you're in your 20s, you're trying to do things your way, and you're questioning, like, okay, I grew up with this, now let's question it. I feel like that's a phase of life we go through, and mine happened to hit in my somewhere through my 20s, late teens, early 20s for sure. And then it's come back around over and over again. So, and there have been some times where I have gone with the trends, and I would say those were probably my dark years. Do you have some of those? I call them dark because when I look back, I'm like, I was just not in my center. I wasn't listening to any kind of inner voice. It was more like distraction, grasping. It felt like an outward kind of energy where I was just like, those were the dark years, like my early 30s, I'd say. So, and luckily weren't too many of them in a row. They were just this little blip of lesson learning or lesson having, and then the learning came later. So anyway, I don't know what else to say about this one. I think that's about it. The social norms. I think what this question is pointing to, that whole desire and aversion, like preference and aversion, which to me corresponds with the Fetter 4 and Fetter 5 and the Buddhist model of attachments and identity, is desire and ill will, and how those are really big lessons because I feel like it's all pervasive. It's everywhere in this physical reality that we're living in. Like every statement that comes out of my mouth, sometimes I'm just like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Like, stop it. Like, I have to state a preference. I have to state something I like or don't like. Like, shut up. No one cares. It doesn't do anything. So some days I have that where I'm like, I like that. I don't like that. Like, I just feel like a little parrot. Like, who cares? Shut up. You can just let that thought go. But somehow I have to like let that thought out of my mouth in the forms of like, I like it. Do you ever feel like that? So the desire and ill will, that's what this makes me think of. And those are really big kind of shadow worky fetters, so I think that's what this really wants me to talk about. That's like what I feel like is once you go through those, where you realize everything is a mirror. Everything in this world, it's just your little bubble. It's your little reality. It's your, like I've talked about, the limited POV perspective. And everything is a mirror held up to you to look at these things. Everybody's living in their hall of mirrors. We don't really see each other, really. We think we do, but it's really, we're seeing ourselves reflected in the other person back to us. So, not to say you can't have meaningful connection, but when you see that and it creates an emotional response, that's something to look at. Like when you have a preference, why do you have that preference? What's it really about? What identity are you clutching that says this identity likes that thing? Oh, really? Okay. It must have done something for you. It really, like, these things aren't all bad. They do things for us to have that identity that I like that. This identity doesn't like that. This identity really judges that, And like, I swear that's what the past few years have been like for me, just constantly looking in that mirror of desire and aversion and questioning where that comes from. What has it done for me? Because then I can look at it with compassion and say, okay, thank you for doing that. You've been great at doing this for me. Now I release you. It's time to go. so that something else can come in your place. You've done a good job. See you later. And when I treat things like that, they really do leave easily. They just have a way of dissolving as if they never were there in the first place. And it's the way, like just talking about manifestation in a different way and not bypassing the hard stuff, which was yesterday's tarot combo kind of thing that came up is that like when we look in the mirror and something, it goes like, oh, I like that or don't like that. It's something to look at. Like, first of all, why does that even matter? But where's it coming from? And did it do you a service that you're like, oh, now it's no longer serving me, so goodbye. That's one gentle way to look at shadow work. And really an effective way to like let that shadow dissolve. Like let the light into that space. So yeah, it feels like and I feel like back to that whole idea of protectors and the vulnerable parts of us that needed protecting. Like those are the two parts of us. Like there's the protector part that's like our whole identity, whole personality. And then the vulnerable part is like our true self that we're always desiring to let out subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever, wants to come out. But the protector is our personality, our identity. And that's the thing that says, shh, you're safe in there. I got this. Oh, I'll handle it in my way. And so I feel like desire and aversion, the fourth and fifth fetters, preferences and aversions, desires and ill wills, whatever you want to call them, it's all around what is that protector identifying as? Like, what makes the protector effective at being a protector? What makes that protector's say, I'm doing a great job. I'm going to keep doing it. Ooh, and I'm going to get better at it. Yeah, it kind of has a way of overdoing things. You know how things like a little bit goes a long way with like, you need protection sometimes. So there, have a little bit. But then it's like, oh yeah, that felt good. Let's keep going. Let's make it bigger. Let's like make this part of me bigger and bigger, 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 bigger. And then it's like way out of balance. And those are the things I feel like with the desire and aversion. Like when we clutch even more tightly, those preferences become bigger. Those aversions become bigger, way out of balance. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. That protector energy just got way too out of balance. It's like, settle down, homie. Like that's, so, and maybe that's another gentle way to look at it. It is like, oh yeah, it just went off the rails. Let's rein it back in. Let's like dissolve some of that big energy. Because you think about it, I keep going back to Facebook. It's such a great little playground, a little petri dish for this stuff. Like when you look at Facebook and everything people are putting out there, but more so in the comments. Like go into any comment thread and it's like, get your popcorn and like think about desire and aversion. And the things people say, it's not about the thing they're commenting on. It's all about what's happening inside of them. It's all that mirror. And they think they're like saying something about that thing. They're only saying something about the way they're feeling right now. And it's so illuminating. It's fascinating. So it's like go into the comment section and just see like all of the preferences, all of the aversions people are screaming about because they haven't released them. Their little, if you want to call it the protector, it could be whatever, but the protector in them is saying like, that's wrong. It's scary to think that way. It's safer to think this way. I don't know why I got on this little tirade. Oh, it's so fascinating. And like when we let go of that, it's so liberating. Like, and it's possible to let it dissolve, but it might mean going like, do not bypass the hard stuff. Let's carry that lesson forward to today. It's just like the hard stuff, it feels hard in the moment. Like maybe the perception is, oh, I don't want to look at that. But honestly, I feel like that's an illusion too, because if you are one, I feel like there's like this moment you get to where you're like, enough already. I'm ready to look at the hard stuff. Because before that, it's not that you realize there's hard stuff and you don't want to look at it. It's like you don't even realize there's hard stuff because you identify with it so strongly that it's just who you are. It's the water you swim in, it's the air you're breathing. You can't see yourself apart from it. But once there's a gap and you're like, enough already, whatever created that gap for you, then you can look at it and be like, I'm done. Oh, yeah, let's go there. It's not hard. I'm ready. So, like, it's not even hard stuff. Like, that doesn't exist until hindsight, is what I'm saying. Because in the moment, it's the air you breathe. You don't know there's hard stuff. You just know you're mad at the world, or you are so attached to something. You have such a preference for it. It's clouding out everything else. So, this is fun stuff, isn't it? And it's not hard stuff. It either is or it isn't. It's either there or it isn't there. So, that's it. Bye.